So what's going on with these Sony issuing all these refunds?
Well, so H1Z1, which is Sony's never too late, definitely very ahead of the curve zombie game that they have released, is a game that you pay for. You pay for this game. You buy it like you would a normal game.
It's a download title, or is it also?
It's on Steam.
It's on Steam.
And they said coming, in the leading up to the game that there wasn't going to be any microtransactions or stuff like that.
Clearly stated that.
Clearly announced that there would be no microtransactions.
No more money spent in this game once you buy it.
Yeah. And turns out that was totally false, and you can pay real money to get supply drops in-game.
So are the supply drops otherwise random?
That I'm not sure of, but basically this definitely, they swore it wasn't going to be pay to win, and in a zombie survival game of this type, which I'm assuming is like many of the other ones on the PC,
like DayZ
and Rust and stuff like that. Your supplies are what you live and die by. So this is going to be a big help. So, they were, of course, flooded with complaints, and the guys were like, whoa, we're sorry, we upset you. So they were allowing refunds. Now, you had to do the refund through Sony, and that would get you your cash back. If you did it through Steam, it would only go back to the Steam store.
It would hurt if you did it through Steam, I would think.
I don't know. I mean, if you did it through Steam, basically you get credit back. If you do it through Sony...
Yeah, Steam's hot.
And if you do... It's very good, Pat. If you do it through, Sony, you get cash back. So anyways, my problem with this is that's not really enough. My bigger issue is that they fucking flat out lied in their lead up. So that's my number one issue. Is they flat out lied in their lead up. What they need to do is do away with the supply drops, patch the game so that you can find these supplies in a way that doesn't require you to get real money, or randomize supply drops like you had mentioned. But my other big problem is that the refund window is very limited, and people tend to go on previews when they buy games. So if someone's excited for H1Z1 and they didn't read about this, and I can't necessarily blame them. I mean, you can't read every piece of gaming news, but just say they read all these previews and they're like, okay, no additional charges, I can buy it now, it looks pretty good. If it's outside of that window, they're boned. They can't get that refund. So it's still deceptive because it's a limited time refund.
So where was the disconnect between the announcement from the developers game saying, the quote is that, we are not interested in selling weapons. Weapons are only acquired by crafting or exploring and finding one. We are not selling power, which of course they reversed on that. So where was the disconnect? Like what? How could something like this happen? Like this is just this isn't even incompetence. This is just flat out fraud for your product.
From what I've heard, it's probably not the programmers' fault. It's probably, I mean, you have to understand that
it's not the programmers, right. It's just because taking orders, but it's the developer.
Right. The developer and the programmers probably put this game together the way that they said it, and Sony probably saw money bags and said, no, we've got to, everything's got a microtransaction, we've got to put a microtransaction in.
But the Sony president said that they won't be doing that, though. So, like, what
so the Sony
President John Smedley stated, we will not be selling guns, ammo, food, war. That's kind of the whole game, and it would suck, in our opinion, if we did that.
Okay, so then they did. I mean, being a Sony game, I guess it would go up to, that's probably U.S. president?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
SOE?
SOE.
Sony Online Entertainment.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure where the disconnect came in. I mean, other than to just royally fuck your consumers, which is awful.
How much does this game cost?
I have no idea.
I'm guessing that they maybe thought it was okay if it's only a $5 or $10 game, we can do this.
Yeah, and I mean, it didn't say there, but, and of course,
it's just cost H1Z1.
It's I catch up on this stuff at work before coming in, but if it's a $5 or $10 game, I still don't think that that's okay. Although that's maybe where they justified it. But if it's a $30 game,
Steam Early Access $20. The second SKU will cost $40.
No, that's absolutely not acceptable.
Well, that's what I'm seeing here from.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, for pre-release $20 plus those transactions, and then $40 for the full game plus those transactions. I mean, we're not talking about something stupid like a costume in Street Fighter. We're talking about paying to win the game that you just spent $40 on.
Yeah, I don't. Obviously, we talked about these stuff in the past. DayZ, these don't appeal to me at all. These open world zombie games, I don't care. I just don't. But why would you even get into a game where you'd have to resort to paying money in order to actually play competently? Any game for that matter. But I know that's the whole thing about freemium games, which we'll get into later with EA. But it's just that's the new way of going about it.
Yeah, but lying about it is
lying is
not
one step over.
Right.
Yes, that's but at least they're trying to make it right at least a little bit. But
I mean, they're offering the refund, but I still look at that as too little, too late.